Good morning. My name is Dr. Paul Kershaw. I'm a policy professor in the UBC School of Population Health and founder of Generation Squeeze. Today is the first ever global day for intergenerational fairness. This worldwide day of action is being proclaimed by Generation Squeeze here in Canada, alongside our partners in the US, the UK, Germany, the Netherlands, Australia, Japan, and Nigeria. In commemoration, we have come to Ottawa today to ask the Government of Canada to launch a rapid response task force on generational fairness, one that will act decisively in response to the evidence that Canada is no longer working fairly for all generations. The evidence is clear. Young people's finances are being hammered by housing costs that are leaving their earnings behind, all while they inherit larger levels of government debt and frightening levels of environmental damage. The result is that hard work doesn't pay off for today's young people as it did for past generations. This results in their economic precarity, rising levels of mental ill health, eco-anxiety, and declining levels of hope for the future. Of late, these problems have attracted genuine attention from all political parties as they court the younger vote. And while the focus on young people is strong, this framing of youth issues is increasingly a distraction because it draws attention away from the root causes of problems being faced by younger people. Root causes that have less to do with what young people are doing and more to do with their treatment by older generations as a result of past policy decisions. It's very easy today to blame current governments because everything seems to be breaking now. But many of today's problems have their roots in decisions, short-sighted decisions made in harmful ways by past governments. This lack of stewardship may have made life more convenient, more financially convenient in the moment for baby boomers. But the consequences for their children and grandchildren are alarming, compromising their ability to join the middle class. Canadians most commonly think about failures of stewardship in environmental terms. For many decades now, we have been extracting so much of the atmosphere's scarce capacity to absorb carbon because governments have let people and businesses pollute for free or at little cost. The results are species loss, rising food costs, and extreme weather. The same failure of stewardship is driving housing unaffordability. There's only so much wealth that we can extract from a housing system. And previous policy decisions have let homeowners like me, and especially those older than me, extract so much housing wealth that we have transcended from the middle class to be among the more privileged. But we are doing so at the cost of housing unaffordability for those who walk in our footsteps. And government deficits run outside of recessions reflect similar patterns. Most government spending being made possible by economic growth today is being extracted by our aging loved ones for their retirement income and medical care needs, despite the fact that this demographic has the lowest levels of poverty and the highest levels of wealth. We are all entangled by the hard truth that past governments failed to work out how to pay for a healthy retirement for our baby boomer family members. During their working years, boomers paid taxes when there were 7 working age residents to pay for every retiree. Now in retirement, boomers understandably want the same, if not better, services when there are just 3 working age adults to pay for every senior. The consequences for fiscal restraint and young people's tax dollars are enormous. There is little revenue left over to pay for the baby boomers' children and grandchildren and to invest in their needs and priorities, and we saddle their offspring with larger debts from unpaid bills. Fortunately, there is a remedy. We can enshrine responsibility for generational fairness more explicitly into the machinery of government. This can restart with a rapid response task force on generational fairness that examines the question, why does hard work not pay off for younger people as it did for past generations? There are models to follow from the UK, Australia, and elsewhere. And happily, there is momentum from which to build here at home. The Trudeau government has already identified that our housing system is, quote, an intergenerational injustice. $10 a day childcare has been a game changer. So too has been putting a price on pollution, despite the recent damage done by exempting home heating oil. Building on this foundation, a generational fairness task force will preserve Canada's standing as one of the greatest countries on earth in which to grow old, as ranked by Global Age Watch. And it will help us overcome our status as an international laggard for investing in children, youth, and their parents, as monitored by UNICEF. Please find out more about our proposed Rapid Response Task Force on Generational Fairness at gensqueeze.ca, because Canada needs more than ever to work for all generations. Thank you.